they're on the right. This is Motivational Radio Friends from Paris with your host, Longi Agoha.
Ladies and thank you very much for being there. Today I'm bringing you my motivation and inspirational hour, and I have a very, very special guest by name Chris Akabusi. And this guy is a really renowned sportsman and now a motivational speaker. And he is here to tell us more about dream. When you have your dream, everything works. Hello, Chris. How are you?
Hi, Longi. How are you?
I'm all right. And you?
Thank you very much for the invitation to speak on your radio station. And hello, everybody in France. Bonjour, bonsoir. And, well, that's about the extent. Je ne parle pas français, so let's speak English. So, yeah, thanks very much for inviting me on your show. What I wanted to speak to you and the listeners about is basically my keynote presentation. Over the last 20 years, I've developed as a professional speaker. I used to be a world-class athlete. I'm an Olympic silver medalist, European champion. I'm the world champion for the 400 relay. And in my time in sports and business, I've looked back at what I call the narrative of my life. And what I found out pretty quickly as I reviewed my life is that one of the key lessons I learned is that to succeed in life, one needs to have a massive dream. One needs to have an overriding dream, an overriding principle, and a unifying dream. And once you begin to look into that dream, what you begin to see is, as you begin to articulate and speak passionately about what's on your mind, when you start to step into that arena with passion, pride, and a can-do attitude, when you unfold the manifold gifts and abilities that you have, you'll find that actually people come along and support you with their gifts, because we all have a basket full of gifts, and my gifts alone achieve very little, but when supported with like-minded souls with different gifts, we can achieve great things. And so the dream actually works when the team works, when a team comes alongside you and makes things happen. A case in point, Longi, will be the Olympic Games that happened in London 2012.
That's right. That was a huge success, right?
It was a massive, massive games, and, you know, we competed with France. We were the last two in the final, and in 2005, Jacques Walker, who was the IOC president, the Olympic Organising Committee president, he said these words in July, I think it's July the 5th, he said these words, and it is London, and London got the privilege of hosting the games. And Sebastian Coe, who was our chairman, he organised a dream. He was able to articulate a dream that the whole of the country could buy into. And he said that these games in 2012 will be about inspiring a generation. And so what we find, which is really material, which is really important about a dream, it has to provide clarity to everybody else to understand what their unique role is in this case, inspiring a generation.
Okay, that's wonderful, because that reminds me of a very famous adage which says that it takes two or more to tango. So you can't dance tango alone. So it takes you at least one more person to dance a tango.
Absolutely right.
That's right.
There's no such thing as a self-made man or self-made woman. That you always have to rely on the skill sets, gifts, and abilities of other people. And when I say rely, it's, you know, once you articulate something passionately, what you find is that it reverberates like a tuning fork that actually tunes a piano. It reverberates, and that other people come to make the notes and be able to play that tune. It's just a phenomenal thing that, as I've recognised in my life, it happens on the sports field all the time. Great sports teams have a group of people identify with the organising principle and the unifying dream.
Okay. So in one word, you're saying that if I'm able to identify what my unique roles are, my unique gifts from the Almighty, I could attract people who would help me take it along.
Yeah, so let us say that, you go along and you find find that you are passionate about painting.
Mm-hmm.
If you just found that that you once you pick up a brush or some paint or some stencils, that you can actually put some lovely things down on paper. But of course, you don't manufacture paper, so
right.
you rely on people to manufacture paper. You don't create crayons, so you need people on crayons. You might need to get someone who takes you to a class, so you learn a particular type of painting. Is it cubism? Is it impressionism? Is it still life? So is it Baroque? So you go to a particular school and you learn a particular style, and then you find that actually you need a particular type of ambience, and so you like to go by the river, or you go by the beach, or you like to be in a room. So basically you begin to create the environment around. I found out in athletics, as for me, I started my sporting career by joining the British Army.
That's right.
I joined the British Army.
You were once in the British Army, right?
Pardon me?
I said you were once in the British Army.
Yes, I spent 15 years in the British Army.
Mm-hmm.
And when I joined the Army, I wasn't a particularly good sportsman. But I met a sportsman. I met a guy that used to be head of the athletics team.
Mm-hmm.
And he got talked to me about athletics, and I liked him, and I started training with him. I got better and better, and it took a group of other people around me to get better and better. And so I joined a training group, and we began to train together. And of course, the training group had a coach. And so I listened to the coach. And then you had a sprinting coach, and you had a strengths coach. And so then the sprinter and the coach. And then, of course, you start getting injured. So you get a physiotherapist, and you get a physician. And then you start getting good. So you get a manager, and you get an agent. And pretty quickly, you realise as you begin to dream big and articulate what your passion is, these aspects come together to make you. And so, of course, when I was running around the track in 1991, becoming a world champion with 3 other members, those 4 guys that won that race had a plethora of people around them that made their dream work.
Okay. So
and as in sport, so in life, so in business.
So that's it. You really need to look for people who would help you walk along, in fact.
Yeah, well, actually, I don't even think you have to look for them. I think that as you passionately engage with your calling, as you act and do, because another thing I say, a dream without an action plan remains a daydream.
Sure.
Yeah, so you dream big, you have an action plan, but then you need to take action. The action plan and the dream is only 2/3 of the way. You have to take action. And many people make great plans, have phenomenal dreams, but don't take action. But once you take action, and you've got to take action with just an inkling of what you can achieve. Because a lot of people are scared of losing, scared of not accomplishing, scared of looking stupid, scared of not making it. But you know what? If you're so scared you don't take action, you lose each and every time. Before anybody I'm speaking to can do a lap of honour in an Olympic stadium, but not many people can lay the foundation and do the days, weeks, months, years, training, application, commitment, dedication to make it happen. And so what I'm actually saying is you do have to take massive action, you do have to have a phenomenal dream, you do have to have a plan, and as you step into that arena, people will come. They will come. There was a great film, well, I say a great film, there was a film called The Field of Dreams. It was about a baseball guy, and one of the chief actors was a guy called Kevin Costner.
Yep.
And what he kept on saying, his refrain was this: build it, and they will come. Build it, and they will come. My interpretation would be: step into the arena with passion, pride, and a can-do attitude. Have that dream, develop a plan, and they will come.
Okay, wonderful. I'd like to know one thing, because you said you've talked about dream, you've talked about action, and all that, and clarity. Which one is the most singular important one that you would not miss or should not miss along in the equation, because clarity is one, action is another, and then dream is all of them. So is it all of them in one, or one after the other, or at least you must not miss this one?
Right. So none of them stand on their own. So none of them stand still on their own. But the first thing is a thought.
Okay.
Everything that is created first began as a thought.
Okay.
So first of all, you need to think. And then as you begin to think about something, it will only stay in your thoughts unless you articulate it. Now, we as human beings have got a phenomenal gift. We can talk to one another and share our thoughts, share our dreams. So once you have this dream, you've got to talk about it. You've got to tell other people about it. And you know what? As you tell people, they can gauge your passion. You can tell when you speak to somebody how much they believe in this thing, how much is part of them, how much is inside every single part of their connective tissue. It's writ large inside of them. You cut them, and in their bones, and in their gristle, in their marrow, it says, this is who I am. And you need to communicate who you are. So, first, the dream, or the thought. Then, the word. And then, and for word, you develop a plan, and on the plan, you take action. Now, it is not a linear process. They are all interwoven one with another. It's a rich tapestry of energy and vitality as you create the ambience around you so that other human beings catch it like a virus and they want to join in.
That's right.
I want my passion to burn so brightly that people come from miles and miles to join in, to feel the heat and help me deliver in the arena.
Okay, so you need to be you are the master of your life. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying you're the master of your life. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you can be the architect.
Okay.
Or let me be. You can be the co-author. You can be the co-author of your life.
Right. Are you saying that others will help you to write your life for you? It will write the scripts for you.
Without a shadow, I tell you what.
Yeah.
If you don't live your dream, you will live somebody else's.
Aha.
So yeah, you know, people. It's very easy to be co-opted in somebody else's dream, and you might be playing a peripheral role in somebody else's dream, and you might not be fully engaging with your life, and you bimbing along, and you do this job because I've got to earn a living, and you work with this person because they happen to be in your life, and you never. The shame is many people spend more time booking their holidays than they do ordering their life.
Wow, that's it. I remember Brian Tracy who once said that if you don't have a dream, you will end up working for those who have.
Correct. It's very, very easy to be a bit part player in somebody else's dream. And it's okay to be a bit part player in somebody else's dream if that fulfills your dream.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sure.
We live in a wonderful community where people are fulfilling their dreams. But fulfilling your dream should have a material benefit to the society and the community in which you are operating, living, moving, and having your being.
Right.
And so what I'm saying, be intentional about that. Be authentic about that. Be responsible about that. Embrace that. Know that. It's a great and a wonderful life that's here today and it's gone tomorrow.
That's right. Today's finishing, right? Yeah, there was this guy who said that there are some people, we have 2 or 3 kinds of people in this world. There are people who see things and make the things happen, and there are people who watch things happen.
And there's another person who says, hang on,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Some people see, some people make some things. Some people see things happen.
Yeah,
Some people make things happen.
that's right.
Other people say, "Hang on, what just happened?"
That's right. So that's it. So those who see things happen, can you change them?
That's a great question.
Isn't it?
That's a great question. I mean, of course, look, life is about change.
That's right.
We are born from a mother's womb, helpless, young child, and a mother and father who are lucky gives us a name. And from the tradition that you and I are from Nigeria,
That's
Igbo heritage,
That's right.
you know that a name means something.
Exactly.
So that your parents look at this child, this bundle of joy, and they give you a name and articulate what they hope for you, because they know that you're not going to be a helpless baby all your life. And then over the annals of history, you grow and you develop. And of course, you're changing all the time. And the environment makes you change, the family and friends make you change. So of course, you can have a role in supporting people's transitions in life. But ultimately, if the person themselves does not want to change, they don't change.
That's right.
You can't make people change in that sense. People have got to want to change. It is easy to. When I was a child, I thought as a child, but you can't think as a child all your life. I'm now 54. I've got a big family. I'm a responsible father. I've had to change.
Oh, that's right.
And there was a book by a woman called Judith Voist, Voirst, Judith Voist, which is called Necessary Losses. And Necessary Losses talks about the necessity to change and to let go and to lose. And of course, the ultimate loss is your life itself. We are here today and we're gone tomorrow. A, we're born, B, we're going to die. And that dash that appears on your tombstone is your life, the sum total of your dreams, your plans, your actions, your communications and interactions with the human race. But the whole process is a series of change and a series of losses. And of course, you and I and the people that listen have lost the innocence of youth.
That's right.
That time when you couldn't tell between the left and the right, when you didn't know the difference from getting up and going down. And you change, and in that process, people have come into your life and helped you with that process. But there comes a time when you are responsible for that process.
Wow.
You are responsible for the life that you lead.
That's very thoughtful here, because I know that life changing. In fact, last week's program was about change. Okay, and we talked. My host was hammering on the fact that we need to change, because every day we change. Every day we are bound to change. Either we like it or not, we would always change, and that's it. So the question is, what are you changing into? Which directions are you going? That's the main thing. One thing I've picked up from what you've said is you need to have focus, clarity. I have a thought, the dream, the word, and the plan, and then you take action.
Yeah.
That's it. In one word, it's all about action, have a dream, and then find ways of putting these dreams into actions.
Yeah.
And that's it. And you get results, right? Because at the end of the day, we're judged by what we produce.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what I'm talking about authenticity.
Yeah.
I'm talking about stepping into your own greatness. I'm talking about daring to be you, to be yourself. The French had I was going to say a great philosopher, but a good philosopher, Jean-Paul Sartre.
Sartre, okay.
And he talked about existentialism.
Exactly.
And he talked about being in the moment, embracing the now, being authentic, being responsible for making decisions, being responsible for those choices, understanding the angst and the fear that's in life, because everybody has angst.
That's right.
Everyone has fear. We know every single time we do something and we step into our greatness, we have fear. Can I do it today? Is it possible? Life is about angst. Life is a neurosis in life. But the great thing about being human, oh so very human, is that we can be passionately engaged with who we think we are today. And we can be passionately engaged with creating our tomorrows. We can think outside of ourselves. We can look at a scenario and we can extrapolate on that scenario. And then we can hold it up in front of us with absolute clarity of this is who I want to be. Mm-hmm. And then in moving towards that person, you can't help but draw like a vortex other people into your life who get a glimpse, who get a sniff, who get an aura, an aroma of what they can be inside this dream.
That reminds me, if I might chip in here, for me, the ultimate fear, the ultimate thing to defeat in this world is all about fear. Because that is what really separates people, in fact. Those who are ready to fight fear, or those who are ready to act in spite of fear. Because I always believe that whatever you get in life is a sum total of your actions. Yeah. Alright? And for me, if you are ready to fight fear or ready to act in spite of fears, because we all have fears, apprehensions. So your capacity to act in spite of those unknown quantities, that is what makes you successful, I guess.
Yeah, it's great. I'm sure you and many of your listeners will know the book from the lady called Susan Jeffers.
That's right, I have it here.
Yeah, it's great. You know, feel the fear, do it anyway.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
And it's great because what she hit upon there with her book was the idea that yes, it is part and parcel of our human DNA, our human construct, to have fear. And it's great though, because fear, the other side of the fear, is a real you trying to come out.
That's right.
But, you know, what comes first, the chicken and the egg? You know, if you stay in your comfort zone, you know no fear, because you're comfortable. You've done it before. Mm-hmm. But every time you go into a new area, you expand your boundaries, of course you have fear. And often a lot of fear is, can I do what I know I'm capable of doing? You know, every athlete that goes to the line at the Olympic Games, they have fear.
That's right.
They know how good they've been, but is it going to happen today? But you know what? And even now at 54, I can win races today at 54. Mm-hmm. All I need to do is to go to the local high school, get up, parade all the 11-year-olds, and say, okay, guys and girls, 100 meters, let's have a race. Go. What sort of challenge is that? And yet often in life, because of fear, metaphorically, that's what people do. They go down to the lowest common denominator and look for a whole row of 10 or 11-year-olds and they go and have a race. But actually, no, I want to compete against my peers. In fact, no, I want to grant and climb right to the top of Mount Vesuvius and breathe the air that is fresh and clean. I want to go places that other people have never been before. Mm-hmm. In fact, I want to have my own indelible ink print on this world. It's me. I'm born today. I'm gone tomorrow. There's no other. No one else will cover this footprint that I've got to live and breathe and have my being. I want to live to its fullness. And I want to know that when I shuffle off this mortal coil, I do so used up, battered, no more left. I want the carcass to be finished. Nada. Fini. Nix. Gone.
Yeah.
I want my gift to be in the world, and I want that dream to be lived on with all the people that they won't even know who Akabusi was, and yet a part of me will be in them.
That's right. That's right. So the need to leave a legacy behind is very important.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. When I'm asked to define what success is, I define success as the life you lead, the lessons you learn, and the legacy you leave.
Very
the
profound.
life you lead, the lessons you learn, and the legacy you leave. And trust me, you leave a legacy by default or design.
Whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not, the world is left a legacy by you. Now, what I do understand is that just like when you throw a stone in the water, mm-hmm. you You throw the stone in the water, it makes a little plop, a little ripple effect, and it gets back in, and it's gone. So I've got a very short ripple effect, and then I'm gone. But that wave ripples on out towards the ocean. So my children, the people that I work with, my colleagues, my customers, my collaborators, if you lived life well, will take positivity with you. And if you lived it bad, they'll take negativity from you.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's it. So your capacity to fight fear, or your capacity to act in spite of your fears, that's it.
Vitally important. Nothing great happens without being able to face your fears. Doesn't matter. Einstein had fears.
Mm-hmm.
Van Gogh had fears. Gosh, I'm just trying to think of his name now. Gosh, the guy who did Microsoft chap, Bill Gates had fears.
All right.
Apple chap had. Anybody creates anything great, of course you have fears.
Mm-hmm.
Life is about risk.
That's right.
It's about living on the edge.
That's right.
It's about trying things different, being you. Of course you've got fears. You wouldn't be a bright, articulate, sentient being without knowing I can lose everything in this moment. And that's why it's so engaging. That's what makes it brilliant. I can lose everything in this moment. And therefore, I fly.
Wow.
There was a great guy called Guillaume Apollinaire. Guillaume Apollinaire was a Frenchman.
Mm-hmm.
He was a impressionist, artist, poet, philosopher.
That's right, yeah.
He came to the UK and he had a friend called Christopher Logue, and he was talking about his art and he wanted to exhibit his art and stuff, and he was a little bit worried. And Christopher said, "Don't worry," Christopher Logue said, "Don't worry, I'll be there with you." And they set up a show, and Christopher Logue wrote these words for Guillaume Apollinaire. As about to go into the entrance hall, he was a little bit worried, and Christopher Logue pushed him in there. On the back of these were the words, these were the poem he came up with. "Come to the edge," he said. "We might fall." "Come to the edge," he said. "But it's too far." "Come to the edge," he said. He came. He pushed. And he flew. And that was his poetic way of saying, you know what, my friend? There are moments in life when you've got to face your fear. There are moments in life when you've got to come to the metaphorical edge. There are moments in life when you face the words, do or die.
Mm-hmm.
There is no try. But when you do, when you come to the edge, and in that moment of darkness, you find that in stepping over that threshold, you actually fly.
Wow. So profound, so profound. That's wonderful. It's thought-provoking here. It's all about empowering people, telling them that it's possible. Possibility, because I don't believe in impossible things. I mean, there are things that are really impossible, like flying, just on your own. Okay, those are impossible things. But then, when you come to real Earth here, it's possible. You have a dream and accomplish your dreams.
Yeah, of course. I think what you're saying there quite clearly. No, we cannot defy the laws of physics.
That's right.
The laws
That's
of
exactly
gravity.
what I was
There's some
thinking.
immutable laws. Of course, we can't defy.
Yes.
We can't defy those. But you are absolutely correct. There's nothing that you can't conceive, you can't achieve.
That's right.
There's nothing plausible. Take into account that you don't defy the natural laws of physics. You can achieve anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because you haven't got to achieve it on your own. You've got to just articulate the dream so passionately that those people who've got the missing links can find you and put it together and be the team that makes it work.
Now, listen, let's go into how is it possible, because we've been talking about all that, okay, and listeners will be thinking, oh, come on, these guys are so special, they are so lucky and all that. Do you believe in this thing called luck?
Do you believe in this thing called luck? Look, there's a guy called Gary Player. He was a golfing pro. And people people said to him he was very lucky, chipped in, he's a golden player, he chipped in from the 18th degree, now you're so lucky. And they said these words, the harder I train, the luckier I get.
Indeed.
So yeah, there is such things called luck, of course there's such a thing called luck, but you know what, the more you work at it, the more chances your luck comes up. I'm in love with my life, I've had a phenomenal life, but I've had a lucky life. I was born in 1958 of Nigerian parents. What was traditional in those days, they came to the UK to study. They went back to Nigeria when I was 4 and left me in the UK. Now, you and I, we remember the Biafran War was a war that happened in the eastern side of Nigeria where we come from. And because of the war, the money that was being used to bring me up stopped coming. And I found myself in the children's home. So I lived 10 years of my life as an orphan. Was I lucky to be orphaned at the age of 4 and a half?
No,
I don't know.
certainly not.
Was I lucky to join the army? I don't know. Was I lucky to meet Sergeant Ian Mackenzie? I don't know. Was I lucky to start to be an athlete? I don't know. Was I lucky to leave athletics, become the world champion and go to I don't know. But what I do know is the more engaged I got with my passion, the luckier I've become.
Okay. So it's all about being engaged, being here at present, and enjoy or embrace your life with all your heart.
Yeah, you just said something. Another very, very important word that makes a dream work when a team works. You said being present.
That's right.
Now I tell you what, that's a massive word. Many people are sleepwalking while the life passes by.
Wow. Now, let me cut you here. A friend of mine once said that many people are already on their knees.
Yeah. It's just easy just to sleepwalk through life.
That's right.
And then one day you wake up, you're 75, 80, 85, 90, and you're being called home.
And when you look back, you say, wow, what did I do with this life?
Well, you just said, what just happened? So you need to practice the art of being fully present, 100% engaged with the moment. One of my friends, another speaker, his name's called Nigel Risner, he kind of saying that I really love and embraced, which says, when you're in the room, be in the room. You see, I'm here and I'm with you. I'm speaking to you, and by extension, I'm speaking to many other people.
That's right.
But Longy,
that's right.
I'm here, and I'm in the room. I'm here, mind, body, soul, spirit.
100%.
100% engaged in this power hour. 100% tapping my authenticity. 100% opening my heart and my soul to my connected tissue and giving you who I am and what I got. I mean, in an hour's time, I'll be somewhere else and I won't be with you.
That's right. Sure.
When you're in the room, be in the room, be fully present, be engaged with what you've got. Let people feel your passion, your energy, your enthusiasm. Do you know what the word enthusiasm means?
I know.
It's a Greco-Roman world.
That's right.
As empowered by a God, in theos, God. Be empowered, be enthusiastic. Let that light shine so brightly that other human beings come round warm and want to burn with passion.
Now, let me chip in here. Could we say, is it possible to say, anybody who is not attracting people to his life, it is his fault, or he has not been able to define exactly what he wants, or in clear terms what he wants like his life to be?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's fair enough to say that you choose to be on your own in this world. Because human beings are by our very nature social creatures.
That's right, indeed, I agree.
We have safety, security, and places of belonging as a very fundamental, basic human need. Abraham Maslow did a triangle.
That's right.
And at the very bottom of that triangle is safety, security, and a place to belong.
The hierarchy of needs.
Hierarchy of needs, absolutely right. So people have to choose to be on their own. Now, having said everything that I've said, love solitude. I am a loner. I get my empowerment, my energy by walking in the woods late at night, in the dark, with my dogs, communicating with my God, my necessary being, with nature. It empowers me. I can go away and I can muse, I can think, and I can go away with the fairies, right?
Right.
But I so need people to vacillate with, to vibrate with, to engage with, to create with, to be co-creators. And my people that are on my wavelength, and it's just like a multitude of wavelengths, just like a radio station and a music. You tune into the station that fits your wavelength, and you tune in and you make outputs and you make inputs. And if you're not making any outputs, why should anyone give you any inputs?
Wow.
So yeah, there's no need to be on your Jack Jones. There's no need to be on your own.
Okay.
You've just got to give your outputs.
Right. Show the world what you can do, and then you suddenly see people who join you.
Yeah, absolutely right. They'll come out, they'll be all around you. They'll be all around you. Your people will be all around you, and you will be part of other people's people.
That's right.
They're all around you.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to vibrate. You've got to let people know. People know who you are, what you've come from, what your gift is, what. I don't want to get super spiritual, but the Greco-Roman world was full of gods. Great is Artemis, Apollonius, Zeus. They was all there, and they had all of these gods that were empowering us. And whether you believe in a deity or not, whether you have a plethora, a pantheon of gods or not, doesn't really matter. In the human sphere, your people are all around you, but you've got to articulate your dream, and the team will come, and it will work.
Okay, that's it. It's all about articulation, making things clear for people to see, and that's it. So from there, they will follow you.
They'll catch it like a virus.
Okay.
Well, they'll join you. It's whether they follow you, they join you in co-creating whatever it is you're co-creating. I don't want a load of followers. I'm not the Nazarene. I don't need disciples.
No, not yet.
Well, I'm a co-creator.
Okay.
I'm a co-creator. Look at this wonderful world that we live in. I mean, don't you ever marvel at this wonderful world? I love Europe. When I look at the wonderful world that Europe is, I look at the infrastructure. But don't you know, man created the world that you live in? You look at the infrastructure I'm talking about. The world, the museums and the buildings and the homes and the roads and it's just incredible. And everything that you see first began with a thought.
That's right.
It was the dream of a man. When I say man, I'm talking about generic now.
That's right, yeah.
Yes, a man in the male and female sense. But it was a dream of a man. They came up with it, and they were passionate. Oh my gosh, what could it be? And then, but some people, you're talking double dutch. Some people didn't understand it. What are you talking about? Oh my God, it could be like this. And flying in the sky, we can fly. We can go from this continent. What are you talking about? But they articulated it enough, and then they got the right people. Said, you know what? If you want to do that, you need to do this. And this is the algebraic equation. And this is the engineering thing you need to do. And this is the infrastructure you need to build. And people come and they make it happen. Not one man. A man dreams, and other people come around to make that dream happen.
Thank you very much. This is great. This is great. I am sure our listeners will be excited listening to you and learning so much from what you've just said and so many other things you've said. Wow. Would you have time to come back to our program? Maybe, I don't know when. Just tell me when you're ready to come back to our program again, please.
Yeah, Longy, I'm sure. I've had a great time. Thank you for awakening me today. It's been great to be passionately engaged with who I am, my own authenticity. I mean, you know what? Sometimes we don't know what we know until we start talking.
That's right.
And I can hear my train of thought and my philosophy, and I know there's so much more. So thank you for allowing me to mind myself.
That's right.
And fall from my deep wellspring.
You're really. I'm sure you're really talking from the inside. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And that's cool. That's very passionate, because a lot of our listeners would love to know who you are. And is it possible to tell us your I mean, how can we get you online? Is it possible to get you? Do you have a website?
Yes,
How can we? I mean, no, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. So my website is www.akabusi, that's AKABUSI, akabusi.com.
That's right.
I'm on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
My Twitter, all one word, is at
Yes.
Chris.
Mm-hmm.
That's KRISS AKABUSI. So Chris Akabusi is my Twitter, at Chris Akabusi. There's two ways you can follow me. I'm on LinkedIn as well.
Okay.
I don't know my LinkedIn. I guess it's just Chris Akabusi on LinkedIn.
All right, no problem. You can get it.
But you can get hold of me. And hey, look, if you've enjoyed stuff, get in touch with Longy, get in touch with me. Let's rap some more.
All right.
It's great. It's great.
Okay. Now, listen. Do you have a book online? I mean,
Yes,
if our
there's a book.
listeners want to order your books or something like that.
Yeah, there's a book called Success Comes in Cans.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, success comes, and that's a little pun on words,
Mm-hmm.
because in England there's a can, a tin can,
Yeah.
but actually I'm saying success comes in affirmation. I can, not cannots.
Oh, that's
You
right.
see?
That's it.
Success comes in cans, not cannots. You've got to know you can. You've got to articulate you can. You've got to dream you can. You've got to step in and can, and the team will make it happen.
Woo! That's wow. That's mind blowing. Now, come on. Listen. Well, if for any reasons, because this program is coming up next Saturday, okay? So, is it possible? I don't know. Anyway, you'll be very busy on Saturday. But anyhow, if for any reasons listeners want to know or want to ask more questions, can I forward the questions to you, for example?
Sure,
All right.
sure, no problem at all.
All right then.
What you might do, you forward the questions, and you know what, Longy?
Yeah.
We might actually do a readers or listeners' questions. Come back on and I answer the questions live on this show.
Oh, that would be great. Wow, that's wonderful. You've made my day.
Okay, my brother. As they say in Igbo, Nwana the number.
Yes, one of the number. Come on. Exactly, man.
Okay, my brother.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Kakabushi. All right. So I hope our listener, thank you very much for being there. And this is one of British best-known motivational speakers who has been with us for the past 1 hour, speaking with us. And thank you very, very much again.
Maybe one day, Longy,
Yeah.
I'll come to France. We'll have an open seminar, and we'll build bricks, and I'll tell you what, I've got a great open seminar where you build up what's your dream, you build up your dream board, and then you see your fears and the things that stop you getting there, and then we work out how we get over those dreams, over those fears to get towards your dream. That's a great day out. One day I'll come and do that in Paris.
That describe you best.
This
Then you're
podcast
on the right
was brought to
place.
you by
This
the
is Motivational Radio Friends from Paris with your host, Longy Agoha.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Today, I am privileged to be talking to Faith Okrafo-Smart, who is in charge of
Melkosh Mission International.
Okay, and she is really helping war survivors in Sierra Leone, and she is going to tell us a little bit about her story. And so I would want to start by asking her, could you please briefly introduce yourself to our listeners?
My name is Faith Okrafo-Smart, and I'm the founder of Melkosh Mission International, a charity birth, equip, educate, and empower female and lost their limbs during the 10-year war in Sierra Leone. We're also helping the dependents of the as they are vulnerable and in danger of being caught up in a vicious web of underclass if intervention is not taken.
Okay, that is very nice for you to have gone into such venture. How did you come up with this kind of story? How do you want want to help? What is it? Tell us exactly what prompted you to help.
Well, my family were also affected by the war, besides my dad, because my siblings and my mom, we were here in the United Kingdom when the war broke up in Sierra Leone. Now, being that my dad was a member of parliament in Sierra Leone, he was a prime target of atrocities committed by the rebels. So the rebels had gone to the house, looted the house, beaten him to a pulp. For 3 months, we were not aware of where he was in Sierra Leone. And when, after 3 months, we got news that he was alive, at some point we were told that he had passed away. In fact, he had been killed by the rebels. Some people had seen him beaten to unconsciousness, tied to a tree, and we were told that he had been burnt alive, because some of the people who were killed were burnt alive, died. He was tied to a tree. Yep. He was beaten to unconsciousness. Wow. They did pour petrol upon him and put a tire to his neck to light the torch. But then just at that nick of time, the Ecomog soldiers came and saved him. So he was whisked off to hospital in Lunge. That is one of the islands we have in Sierra Leone, where he was treated, and he was in and out of coma because he was also a hypertensive patient for even the war. So during that time, it was a very, very challenging time for our family, not knowing if he was alive or dead. That uncertainty alone was just a torture, going through that, the anxiety. So 2001, I went to Sierra Leone to see him because he'd had bouts of, heart attack, and I was told that if I didn't go to see him, I may never get to see my dad. So I took my family there, and upon getting there, I saw the destruction, the mass destruction in my country. I saw the human destruction. I saw the structural destruction. I saw the societal destruction. I knew that it's going to take decades to rebuild what had been destroyed in just 1 decade.
Wow. So that gave you the power and the zeal to put your own touch into it. You want to really help reconstruct your country, at least the people.
Definitely, because your health is your wealth.
That's right.
We need the health, good health in the mindset. We need a good health in the emotional state. We need good health even in the physical beings. Now, a lot of people had their limbs cut off. Mm-hmm. Other people were raped before they had their limbs cut off. So we are not just dealing with people who have gone through physical abuse. We're also dealing with people who have gone through emotional abuse.
Okay. Now, let me come back to what you said. You said you have to have the mindset. How did you get your own mindset?
Well, I got my own mindset from my own story. I'd gone through a very challenging time in my life where I encountered prejudice within my marriage. And to cut the story short, and my husband and I, we separated for a long time, and then we got divorced. And because of the prejudice that I've had, not even within my marriage, but even before the marriage, it got to a stage where at some point in my life, I was now questioning my own self-worth as a human being, my own self-worth as a woman. So when time came, when I came to realize, I was actually in a conference where the Lord had given me, a word from the Bible in the book of Micah 4, where it says, in that day I will gather her that is lame and make her a remnant, that is cast out, a strong nation. Now, I know what it means to be cast out, because I have been cast out too. Mm-hmm. Go to deal with people. You of yourself, your mindset has to be right. You need to have received a healing. Or I always say, not every counselor will be able to, empathize with their counselees, because sometimes if you have not undergone a certain circumstance or situation, you may not be able to understand 100% what your counselee is actually going through.
Sure.
So for me to have gone through what I went through, that was able to prepare me to be able to deal with the emotional abuse that these people have gone through, be able to identify where we need to help, being able to also have a stronger mindset, a renewed mindset, a wholesome mindset to be able to go and reach out to those who need help.
Okay, so in fact, if I understand you well, it is from your own story that you had the compassion to help other people, right?
Definitely. Definitely.
Okay.
And that is also the reason why in this coming this week we have Color Purple International Week, which starts from the 1st of December to the 7th of December. And the Color Purple Week is actually inspired from the movie titled Color Purple. That is a movie that was done by Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah Winfrey.
That's right.
And these women depicted emotional abuse. They depicted domestic abuse. And I never went through domestic abuse, but I know what it means to go through an emotional one.
Okay.
So not necessarily from the spouse, but it could also be from maybe internal and external interferences as well within the home, within the family setting. So as a result, what we're doing in this week is actually to help mentor and support women who've gone through different types of abuse. I normally say the emotional abuse is even the worst one, because with the physical abuse you get to see the marks. It's easy for you to identify when somebody is actually going through a challenging time. But the emotional one is the quiet one, the hidden one. That's the most dangerous one, because a woman could be dressed from head to toe, nicely dressed, on point with her dressing, looking nice, saying it is well, I'm fine, smiling, but inside they're hurting, deep inside they're dying. And these are the women we're looking to address.
So in fact, you identify with these people?
Definitely, 100%.
Okay, that's wonderful. Can you say today that the difficulties you had in the past, you have overcome them? Could you say that?
Definitely, 100%. I can say that I have overcome that, and God has changed my circumstance from being a victim to a victor.
Okay.
And I'm now using my light to light the darkness around people, to use my candle to light other people's candle.
Okay. Could you please tell us, Faith, could you tell us in practical terms which were the steps? Which steps did you take? How did you do it? Because many of our listeners need practical examples. Could you give us one or two examples of what you did to conquer those difficulties you had in the past?
Well, one of the few things I did, I actually went to church. I found God.
Very good. That's good. Yeah, sure.
But that was one of the first steps that and I have never turned back, and that has helped so much, because in finding my maker, there's a part where it says for you to recover, you must discover. So I had to go through a time of discovering myself, a time of discovering my purpose on earth, and it is in those seasons of discovering and learning and relearning about myself and my self-worth and my purpose and my destiny. That was what helped me to be able to recover the things that I'd lost, not necessarily everything, but the recovering of my self-worth, the recovering of my confidence, the recovering of my mindset. A lot of people would agree with me to say that divorce and separation can cause great mayhem in people's personal life. You have a lot who would go through, who might even commit suicide, or maybe would go to a mental home, or maybe you would find them becoming addict, either alcohol or substance. But my addiction became God. That is a practical thing for me. It worked for me. Not just that, I actually went and continued and got my education. And whilst I was studying, I was also able to basically, discover the hidden talent within me, and use that for the benefit of those who are crying, who are saying, where will help come from?
So let us say you are a living Messiah somehow.
That's a strong one. I don't want to use the word Messiah. That's what it's
Okay, now let me put it down a little bit. Now listen, because I like what you said. You said one thing. You said for you to recover, you have to discover, right? And so for you to recover, you discovered yourself. How did you discover that thing? Because you were trying to tell me that initially, before the time you were married, you didn't discover yourself, isn't it?
Yes. Or I would say when I was younger, there are things that I'd known that I'd wanted to do. I came from a family, my dad being a member of parliament, when salary, he never read salary. He would use his salary to feed the poor, the blind, the deaf, any person people with disabilities, So I grew up seeing the philanthropic work of my dad. My mom also was a medical doctor. She still is, because a doctor never stops being a doctor.
Right.
And I saw her treating people for free. There are times people would come at the point of death, either through cholera or diarrhea, challenges that the person would be going through, critical illness, and they don't have money to pay. Now, my mom would not weigh money to a life. What she would do is treat the family and then try and see how they can raise money, So I grew up seeing my family helping a lot of people. So the seed had always been planted within me.
Okay.
Sorry.
Right. So, in fact, in one way, your divorce accelerated that seed that has been planted into you before.
Yes, I would say that. Yes.
But if you were not divorced, would you have gone into charity?
Yes, because I had... The truth of the matter is, the week that I had planned on having our first meeting, it was meant to be on a Friday, and my ex-husband moved out of the house on the Monday. So I had, prior to the divorce and the challenges that I'd gone through, I was planning to set up a mini social security system within the UK where people who the diaspora would sponsor at least one family affected by war. That had been my initial plan. But of course, when I went through my own personal problems, everything went to the back burner from 2 years. But the funny thing was that I would go to church, and a man of God would come and tell me that you've got something that you need to do for God. Go and pray and find your destiny. Go and pray and find your God-given identity. And after going through all of that for a while, I actually went through a time of praying, seeking God, trying to discover my destiny. So I had actually, the seed had been there. I'd made a decision to make it, but to do charity work. But my personal challenges came, and I had to put that to the back burner for 2 years. So,
Okay.
but I always say all things work together for good.
I guess. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think your divorce brought the whole thing to the fore and made you to really discover yourself, because maybe during your marriage you didn't think it was very necessary for you to discover who you were exactly, and then your divorce made it more compelling for you to discover who you are, so that and then you are now the kind of woman you want to be today, isn't it? You are now expressing yourself in real terms.
Well, I believe so. I believe that God allows us to go through certain fires in our life, or I would use the word challenges, to prune us, to refine us onto that which he to do and to be. So there are certain times he will bring obstacles your way. They're not meant to break you, they're meant to make you. So it's all about your attitude towards life. If you have a good attitude and say, yes, challenges would come, but the challenges would not kill me, I will overcome. When you have the overcomer's attitude, you reach a higher. So right now, I am thankful that I went through what I went through, because God has given me a new story. God has given me a new life, and I am grateful, and it makes me fall in love with my maker every day.
Wow, that's great.
This is just the beginning.
I can imagine. Could you say it was a blessing in disguise?
I will say that now on hindsight,
Right.
Having to look at my life now, I know that had I maybe still been married to my ex-husband, not that he's a monster, maybe I would have been too attached and not being able to do, of course, being a married person, you have to take care of the affairs of the home first. So that does not allow you to be able to commit to any, serious commitments such as charity. In a case where I had to start on my own, I became the international beggar, I became the founder, I became the marketeer, I became the promoter, I became the project manager, I became the event planner, all in one. Sometimes it is challenging. If whilst I was going through that, there had been a spouse that I had to come home and do the cooking. Whilst it's good to be married, but there's a time, even Paul, you can serve God 100%. If you can stay single to serve God, it's even good, because you don't have the affairs of family life. And I'm not knocking down marriages. I support marriage, and I one day believe that I am going to remarry again. But
Okay.
this season is to also to help people who have nothing. Now I'm speaking about women who and their children are now becoming prostitutes because this is a female. female children of the amputees, both the male and female amputees. Now they go out there because their families are either the mother or the father, or even we have some families where the husband and the wife, both of them had their limbs cut off by rebels.
Wow.
Now these children, of course, the father and the mother cannot work, to provide them the opportunity to have a good education and better prospects in life. So they, in other words, become breadwinners. Some of them become prostitutes so that they can put food on their table. Now we're trying to curb the social malaise in Sierra Leone. And, I am in this project the 9 whole years. I'm in this in and out of season, and I want to see a great outcome come out of this. I'm looking 5 years from now. I want to see a turnaround, a turnaround progress in their life, a circumstance where these children can say 2-3 years ago, I was in this circumstance, but look at me now, I've achieved so and so. I'm now helping my family. That's the reason why Melkosh, the name Melkosh means latter rain in Hebrew, where you have, before we had a latter rain of war, latter rain of affliction, latter rain of torment, pain, but now we're believing God for a latter rain of restoration, a latter rain of transformation, a latter rain of progress.
This is great. Painting a very grim picture, and you're making it hope, isn't it? There's hope at the end of the day. You're trying to tell us there's hope, even though the picture is very grim, because where small young ladies are, forced to prostitute to help their parents because their limbs are cut. That's really very grim, isn't it?
But one thing I would say is because, for example, we started our project in 2008. I did a mini project with one girl that we took on board. I personally sponsored her, and by the time I returned in 2010, she told me, I've actually finished my education, and we're now looking to assimilate her into our project so that she can now work within our organization. Now that for me was, sample or model to say that, we can change lives, we can restore through God. And my faith, and I do not see in what people just see in the physical. I see beyond the physical. I see greater things, greener pastures for these people. And I know that God is going to also back my faith and back my deeds. Faith without deeds is useless. You can't just have faith without actually actualizing and taking the actions. And this is why we're doing as much as we can with Melkosh. We're executing our charitable activities. We go to Sierra Leone every year. We do our missions wherein we do cookout. This year we're actually going to Sierra Leone so that we can set up, an IT school, a supplementary school for the children of the amputees, so that we can give them much, much more prospect in getting, good education, a better opportunity to be able to get jobs. And we are looking long term to be able to even have a vocational school for the amputees, so they themselves can also have meaningful lives. They wouldn't just be, people who are just being given handouts, but they would be at a point. I see them as they would not lend, but they would lend onto others. That's how I see it.
This podcast was brought to you by the Motivational Radio Friends
from Paris with your host, Lonji Agoha.
Hello, dear listeners. Welcome again to our usual program on motivation and inspiration. And today, I am privileged to connect with one of America's top coaches, speaker trainer. His name is Guy Burns. He's from Virginia. He is the manager or the director of Success and Beyond. And I caught up with him today to ask him questions about what he means by present, positive, and productive. Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Lonji. Thank you.
How are you?
I am incredible. And yourself, sir?
I'm trying to survive. It's okay. So, tell us, many listeners would like to know exactly what you mean by present, positive, and productive. What is it, sir?
I believe that all of success in life will happen when three things overlap. And they're all things that we get to make decisions on. You can imagine three circles that overlap, maybe two next to each other and one right below them. And where those three overlap, that is kind of our sweet spot of success. So let me explain what I mean by those 3 points that I brought up. Okay. In the upper left circle might be the word present. And I kind of have three subtopics when I think about present. The first one is wherever we are in our lives, we should be committed to that. So if I've decided to take a certain profession, a certain vocation, if I've decided to be in a certain relationship, I need to be committed to that. Your listeners may know somebody who seems to go from job to job to job and relationship to relationship to relationship. Now, of course, it's always the other person's fault. It's always the company's fault that I couldn't stay there. They weren't a good company. It was always my manager's fault. They didn't treat me right. It was always my boyfriend's or girlfriend's fault that, something is going on outside of ourselves. I suggest that one of the most important decisions we can ever make in our life is to be committed. Whatever we decide to do, we need to make the decision that I am going to do this. I am going to see it through. When we take a job, we should tell ourselves before I take the job, there are probably going to be some things that I don't like about this job. There may be some things that I have to do on some days that I just actually really don't want to do. That's why it's called a job. That's why they pay us. Mm-hmm. If we were sitting at the beach with our feet up eating bonbons and drinking wine, then nobody would pay us for it. Same thing in our relationship. Relationships are hard. We have to make commitments. We have to make sacrifices sometimes. So I absolutely believe that if people will put a commitment into everything that they do, and they will stay in it as long as they can until they decide it doesn't make sense anymore.
Okay, so the first one is commitment, like you said. You've got to be committed. Whenever you take any decisions, you need to stay through, no matter what.
Absolutely. Now, not no matter what. There are times when you do need to step away from a job or from a relationship that is not healthy. Mm-hmm. So I don't say stay in something that is not healthy, but I say when you go into it, be committed to make it work. And all the time that you're in that relationship, give it your very best until the moment that you say, this job, this relationship, this decision was not a good decision and I need to move forward. So don't stay in it no matter what, but as long as you're in it, be in it the whole time. Be committed to it until you say, I have enough facts now, it's time to move on.
Okay, so that's very, very clear. That reminds me of everyday decisions we take, or we make decisions every day to change or improve or do something very different from our lives. The thing is, for you to be present, I guess, you need to really be committed, like you said, be committed 100%. Is it more than that or less than that? It is that. How would I really know that, yes, this is the right thing I'm doing at the right moment? This suits me.
I suggest that the way that we do that is we kind of plan. We have to know where we want to go in life.
Yeah.
One of my favorite statements is to say, if you're going, you're probably going to get there.
That's right.
If you don't know where you're going. So once you make a decision that this is the right road for me, whether it is vocational, whether it is relationship, whatever it is in your life, make that commitment and then move forward. Now, I suggest the second point under present. So we have three points we're talking about today: present, positive, and productive.
Yes, the positive one now.
Yeah. Next one is being on time.
All right.
You may have heard the statement that it says 90% of life is showing up.
That's right.
I suggest 90% of life is showing up on time.
Uh-huh.
It is very disrespectful, people. If you tell people that you will be someplace at a certain time, whether it's professionally or personally, it is disrespect. You actually dishonor that other person and make it harder for you to advance in that relationship, whether it's professional, whether it's personal, whether it's with family. You may have known somebody, or you may know somebody today, that if you want them to be at your house at 6 o'clock for dinner, you better tell them 4:30. We've all probably known somebody like that.
Yeah, sure.
Reality is that one of the things about being present is being on time. It makes us feel better about us. It makes other people feel better around us. And if you know anybody who gets that reputation of being late, it absolutely will cause them challenges in every area of their lives. Mm-hmm. Their employers will never promote them. Businesses won't want to do business with them if they're self-employed. And people around them won't be able to count on them. And it really, really is something that we all need to work on every day. So being on time.
Okay, so time is very essential in self-development and everything we do. Time, because I have a feeling that all of us have 24 hours. Those who succeed are those who really use their time very well. Can you confirm that?
Absolutely. In fact, I break it down to even less than, or I break it down in a different way than 24 hours, Longy. There are 86,400 seconds every day. Mm-hmm. So at midnight, we get into our time account. We have a deposit of 86,400 seconds. If we make it to midnight the next night, we get to use all those 86,400 seconds. At the end of the day, we look back and we say, how did I spend my time? And what's interesting to me is people will waste time on something that has no value. For example, complaining. I was talking to somebody the other day. I happen to be in London right now. I travel all over the world doing coaching and business coaching and speaker coaching. And I was working with a business a couple of days ago, and I was training their sales team. And when I brought up the point of time, he goes, well, yeah, but I'm a salesperson, and I get in traffic. And if you've ever been on the M25, which is they call it the London Orbital parking lot here.
That's
in London.
right. I've been on it here one time. It was very horrible. Yeah.
And he said, you just there's no way, and wah, and he just started going on and on and on about how bad traffic was. And I thought, well, I can take 2 points away from this. And since I was the presenter, I had the opportunity to ask the group. I said, let's talk through what this gentleman just discussed now. Number one, he says it's hard for him to be on time because of traffic. Okay. Guess what? The M25 has traffic. You know there's going to be traffic on the M25? Yeah. So if you know that, you have a couple of choices. One, go a different way. Or two, plan for it. Every single day, every time I've been on the M25, between 4 and 7 o'clock at night, it's moving at 10 miles an hour.
That's right.
So if I need to go 20 miles, I better give myself 2 hours. It's not a surprise. But number two, and maybe more importantly, is the fact that he was complaining about the traffic. Not only do we get 86,400 seconds every day, we also get some amount of energy every day. Maybe that amount of energy is 100 energy bucks. If we spend those energy bucks wisely, we will move farther forward in our lives. If we spend poorly, just like if we spend our time poorly, then we will be held back. So anytime I complain about something, I immediately stop and say, is there anything I can do about it? If it has to do with me, or if it has to do with something in my organization I have control over or influence over, then I will go ahead and do something about it. If I can't do anything about it, traffic, weather, anything that's outside of myself, global economy, I refuse to complain about the global economy. I hear people doing it all the time, and they give away their power. So be on time and use your time wisely. That would be the second point under present.
Okay, that's wonderful. In fact, if I have to maybe add one or two things, I've always believed in my life that anything I can change, that is the nature, for example, if it rains a lot, if it snows a lot, if something that is natural that I can change, then I wouldn't do anything about it. I would just take it along with me. Because if you keep on complaining, you're just wasting your time, right? So just to add up to what you said, if I can't change anything, I take it on like that.
Absolutely, because why complain about something? You just wasted some of your 86,400 seconds complaining about traffic, complaining about the weather, complaining about anything that we can't do anything about. So that's a great point, Longy. It's an absolute waste of time. So don't do it anymore. Oh. Third point under present is be here. Be here.
Be here. Right.
What I mean by that is wherever you are, be here. When you're at home, leave work at work. Don't bring home with you, or don't bring work home with you. It's almost like if you walk through, when you go to the airport, they have all the scanners and the detectors and everything.
That's right.
What they're trying to do is to keep dangerous things out of the airplane. I suggest you do the same thing with your life. When you walk through your front door at night, you leave all of the dangerous things that happened to you that day at work. Don't take them home and smear them on your family. When you go to work and you walk through the front door of your office, it's the same thing. Imagine that that's a scanner, and it looks to make sure you don't have anything dangerous with you. If you had a challenge with your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, you shouldn't have like a wife and a girlfriend. That would be a bad thing too.
Yes. Dangerous combination, right?
That's really bad. Yeah, that's one thing I recommend you don't do.
Okay.
So when you're at work, when you're on the stage as a speaker, be here. No matter where you are, be where you are, and let everything else go. As you walk into that building that day, wherever it is, pretend that's a scanner, just like at the airport, and if it sees anything negative, it makes you throw it away before you walk in the door. So that's my third point on being present, is wherever you are, be here. There's a movie called Peaceful Warrior that I recommend people watch. I actually watched it on Netflix. It was very much focused on the past is the past, we can't do anything about it. And the future may or may not even happen. But all we have right now is the present. If we live in this moment, don't worry about things that have happened in the past. Don't put too much energy towards the future. We want to plan for it, but the mass majority of our energy needs to go in today, where I am right now. Just be here.
Okay. But I'd like to add one or two things. How can I, or our listeners, how could they, for any reasons, if something that is happening presently now at the moment and they don't like it? For example, maybe unemployment or having a hard time. What would you recommend they do, or anybody does to change that situation, or at least to modify it? Is it possible to change the present, so that it could be palatable or nice, something like that?
Absolutely. That brings us to our second point, Longy.
Okay.
Positive. Remaining positive in every situation. So under positive, just like under present, we'll have 3 points. And the first one is to be happy.
Okay.
You remember the Bobby McFerrin song? I don't know if it played much over here in France, but it was "Don't worry, be happy."
Exactly.
Don't be happy.
That's right.
And it really is a decision in life. Oh, no, wait a minute, guy. You can't decide to be happy every day. Yes, you can. When you wake up in the morning, you can decide every day is going to be a good day. Now, the reality is that 99.9% of your listeners have a much better life than almost all of the rest of the planet. If you think about it, we could live in a country right now where there's civil war or strife or terrible things going on. We could live in a country where there is no food and water, where, in some of the countries down in Africa where 50% of the children are born with AIDS and don't live past 5 or 10 years old. We could live in countries that are just absolutely terrible. We could be homeless and on the streets. We could have so many terrible things racking our body. We get up and all the time people around us are whining and complaining. And like you said, it's an absolute waste of your time. I flew from, I come to London every month. I live in Virginia, as you stated, and I come to London every month, and I usually go to several different countries throughout the area. I'm headed up to Scotland tonight. I was in Dublin last month. I was here. Next month I'm going to go over to Paris again. And I spend a lot of time just kind of watching and listening to people. I was on the flight from Charlotte, North Carolina to Heathrow last month, and we left about 30 minutes late. The plane got in late. They had to swap the passengers, and so we got out about 30 minutes late. But our pilot came on board and said, we're leaving about a half hour late, but we should be able to make it up in the air. Shouldn't have too much problem, so we'll get in pretty close to the time we're supposed to get in. Well, because of some weather, we had to change altitudes, and we ended up hitting a headwind, and so we got in about 20 minutes late. And the lady behind me just starts complaining and why I don't believe we got in late. He said he was going to make up the time. I didn't tell my brother, and he's coming and pick me up. And she's just going on and on and on, expending all this vitriol and energy and just pouring herself into negativity.
Too bad.
And I thought, wait a minute. It used to take like 4 months to go across the ocean, and you had to swab the decks, and you got scurvy, and it was terrible, and there were rats, and if there was storms and you were fat, they threw you overboard, and it was awful. And now we do it in 7 hours, and they bring us free wine, and we get to eat, and we can watch a movie, and we can take a nap, and 7.5 hours later, we're 3,000 miles away. So I suggest that whatever situation somebody is in, always look at the positive side of it. There are so many things that we have in our life that we have positive people around us, that we have family, that we have friends, that we have a home, that we have food, that we have some resources available to us. Even when somebody is unemployed, they still are probably better off than about 80-90% of the world. So just the point number 2 under being happy is being great, and that flows right into it.
Okay.
The new movie coming out, it's premiering this week actually, called The Gratitude Experiment. It's not going to be out in theaters a lot right now. They're doing some rollout premieres, and it will be available online in the near future to purchase, called The Gratitude Experiment. You'll be able to Google that. Quite purchased yet. But the movie producer followed several people for a period of time studying happiness. And one of the biggest things about being happy was to be grateful for what we have. So one of my suggestions is keep a little book by your bed every night and write down what you were grateful for that day. If you ate, you did something that a lot of people in the world didn't do. If you had shoes, if you had a roof over your head, think about some of the things that we can be grateful for. If we have people in our lives that we can count on. There are so many things to be grateful that if we'll be grateful, then it will help us be more positive.
Welcome to our normal
This podcast was brought to you by the Motivational Radio Friends with your host,
top
Longy
flight
Agor.
motivational speaker, a Nigerian motivational speaker called Tomiwa Ogoremi, who is going to talk about talent today. So, Ogoremi, how are you?
I'm fine, Laura.
Agora, right?
Right. Okay.
Yes. So, can you please explain in clear terms what talent is all about?
Thank you very much for this great privilege. Yeah, the whole world, 1 or 2 things about this important topic, talent. And going to your question, whenever I want to talk about talent, I like to relate it in a way that everybody will understand. Going by definition, talent means something that you are naturally good at.
Okay.
That is talent, something that you are naturally good at side of you, not something you learn or something that was given to you. It's something that is inside of you. And I like using natural to explain, every nation of the earth has one natural resources or the other.
Okay.
Yeah, and likewise, every woman have a natural resources, which I call talent.
Okay. So, yeah, your job or anybody's job is to discover the talent, isn't it?
Definitely. Now left to you to cover the natural resources within you.
Okay.
Like natural resources on ground, everywhere around you. So it's your job now to discover, find it, fine-tune it, and deploy it.
Okay. Good. So that's for you in a nutshell what talent is all about. But what's the difference between talent and gift?
Thank you very much. These two words are always interwoven and used interchangeably. And at times, when say in a way that everybody will understand, talent means the same as I like to say it the way John C. Maxwell put it. He said, talent is a God-given gift that should be celebrated. Talent is a God-given gift that should be celebrated. So you can see here that gift is inside talent, and talent is inside.
Right.
Enough.
Yeah, okay. So talent, in one word, talent is gift is talent. Is that what you're saying? Now, the question is, how do you discover that gift, or how do you discover the talent? Knowing fully well that there's no school that teaches you how to discover your talent.
Like any other natural resources, it's not on the bare floor. It's not something you see and you pick. You are covering. And at times, so going by how to discover your talent, I have some, I did some research, and these are some of the ways that I came up and discover your talent. Number one is ask. I call it ask. You have to ask a question. Who are the people to ask this question? Because at times, you don't know what you carry until someone around you even tells you, you do this. So the number one person you have, in a way, is your maker. Who made you? Who deposits something inside of you? Who created you the way you are? And that is your creator. Without going into any religion, I believe everybody has a way of communicating with his or her maker. So this is the first person to ask, what did you put inside of me? Then secondly, you have to ask your parents. These are the people that knows you more than any other person. My dad, my mom, is there anything that you noticed when I was growing up, even up to this moment, that I do well more than any other person? So you can ask your parents, then you can ask your friends. Those are the people that you play with, who you play football with, people you chat with. They know that you are good at this. You can talk very well. You might be a good lawyer. You might be a comedian. You might be an actor. So you ask your friends too. So then the last person you ask, funny enough, is yourself.
Okay.
Ask yourself. Ask yourself. That's about asking. Then the second way to discover it is you write, you sit down and pick a pen and paper and write what are the things that I like. Because, like I said, it's not an easy task. You have then what are the things? There might be more than 10. There might be only 2. What are the things that I like doing? Things that I love doing? Things that I don't even know when time has gone while doing it. Something that even if I have not eaten for a whole day, I keep on doing it. What are the things? You write them down and put them in the order of priority, the one that you do more, in the order. Then you can now say, what kind of topic do I like to discuss on? That's another one. What kind of topic do I like to discuss on? Some people, they just like to talk about sports. They like to talk about sports. Some, they like to talk about movies, These are some of the times that, some just like to talk about books. They like talking about movies. Some just like to motivate.
Okay.
What gives you joy? That's another one. What gives you joy? What gives you joy? Now, whenever I'm doing this, I'm happy. Whether I'm paid or I'm not being paid, it gives me joy. I just love doing it. Then another one is, what gives you fulfillment? What gives you fulfillment? Ask yourself, what gives you fulfillment? What do you do that after doing it, you feel like you have achieved, or you have won a jackpot, kind of? Then what takes away your time? That's another what takes away your talent. There are so many ways you can discover your talent, but because of our time, let me just limit it at this.
Okay, good. So that the things you've just said now are some of the ways one can discover his or her talent in the world, right? Okay, that's good. So when you discover your talent, if for any reasons you discover your talent, what do you do from there?
Yeah. Now, like every resources, like I said, no resources is useful until it is refined.
Okay.
No resources, no natural resources, maybe mineral or whatever, even plants that is useful as it is. So the next thing you have to do is to develop it, is to refine it. That's the next stage. After discovering who you are, discovering your gifting, discovering what you give you joy, then the next thing is to develop it. And there are so many ways through which you can develop. So it's development that is the next thing.
Okay, so you have to develop it. Do you develop it yourself? Do you need people to help you develop it, or do you need to go to a school to develop your talents?
It's all encompassing. It's all inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
You have a part to play.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you have all the parts to play in developing your talent. So along the line, there are ways through which you can develop your talent. Number one is, after you have identified this, to learn about, I like writing.
Mm-hmm.
I like writing. Then, if I discover that I like writing, then what is right? And there are so many ways you can learn about a gift or a talent. Number one is school. Go to a school or apply for a course, that teaches your gifting.
Mm-hmm.
That's a school. There are so many types of, there are academics these days, writing academy, acting academy, singing, dancing, even comedy. So, school. The second one is seminars. There are seminars going on a daily basis, everywhere, all around the world, talking about one thing or the other. You have to find it, the one that is peculiar to your talent, and attend. Then the next one is through books. I'm talking about learning now. There's somebody that have done what you're about. There's somebody that have a talent. I have that particular talent that you have discovered you have. That person might have written something about it. Look for books that talks about your talent. Then the next one is online. There are so many resources online these days. The world is there. It's not even longer a global village. The world is now in a room.
Oh, so, that's good.
It's not in a room. Like we are speaking now.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes. We're 6,000 kilometers away.
Yeah. You can just go online.
Yeah.
Google your subject, which is your Google it, and read stuff about it.
Mm-hmm.
Then the last one about a trainer. Get a trainer. If music is your own, get a dance trainer or teacher. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Then another way of developing it is through mentors. Go and look for a mentor. People used to say that, how will I get them? They will not listen to me. They will not answer me. I used to be in that class. But I discovered that they are even looking for somebody to put through. They are looking for people to put through. So just take a step, approach a mentor, somebody that have done what you want to do well. Look for the person, then ask to be mentor. They will mentor you.
Okay.
And another one that I want to talk about, I have series of them here that our listeners will benefit from.
Go ahead.
For auditioning. Go for competition.
Mm-hmm.
Your best comes out through competition. You don't really know who you are until you are put through tests and trial. So go for auditioning. Go for competition. Go for reality shows. Reality shows have made a lot of talented people that are doing great things in our society these days. So that's another avenue. Go for competition. Like now, there is a World Cup going on in United Arab Emirates, and Nigeria under 17 are participating. Those boys, nobody will have heard about them if not for competition. Now, scouts are coming all over Europe for them now. That is what competition, reality show can do for you.
Okay.
Then start giving it.
Okay, good. You've just enumerated the ways to develop your talent. Somebody said there are two important days in a man's life: the day he was born and the day he discovers why. Do you agree?
Yeah, very well.
That's right.
Very well.
Okay. So if you discover why you were born, and then you do something about it, really, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, that topic is actually my favorite, which is purpose.
Okay.
Then when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. You know, when you don't know why you are here, you misbehave, you experiment,
That's
you waste time, you waste energy, waste resources, and life itself is time.
Yeah, because I completely believe that anybody who cannot discover exactly why he was made or he was brought in this planet would spend time working for those who have.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Now, that brings me to the next question. Why or what are the reasons talented people fail? Why do they fail? When you discover your talent, why is it that some people cannot break through? Why?
There are so many reasons for that. No, talent is not a basis for success, but it's the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that you are talented does not mean automatically you are in success, or you are going to get to that climax in your career. But there are so many things that you have to do. Like I said, like a mineral resources, a crude oil, for instance, you have to refine it before you can get a fuel, aviation fuel, kerosene, as is being called here. So there are so many things that can make a talented man, very talented, to fail in life. One of them is ignorance.
Okay.
Ignorance. I like a scripture in the Bible that said that my people are perished because they lack knowledge. If you don't know that you even carry a gift, or you don't know how to market it, or how to even develop the process of marketing it, you are bound to remain in the same spot. And the people that know how to go to the city just run past you.
Mm-hmm.
So ignorance is number one. It's laziness.
Okay.
I told you earlier that it requires a lot of hard work.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not hardworking, you cannot break through, even if you are very talented.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that Cristiano Ronaldo, a footballer, and he plays with Real Madrid in Spain, 10 extra hours practicing how to score a free kick.
Mm-hmm.
That is hard work. The same thing goes with the Orlando Magic basketballer, Michael Jordan, when he was still playing. And then when everybody else, he came earlier before everybody and leave after everybody has left. Doing what? So for your talent to show forth, you have to be hardworking.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 is character or attitude. The talent will give a man a space, but character is there. If you don't have a good character to sustain your talent, you may not go far.
Mm-hmm.
Attitude is everything. Attitude is everything. Then another thing I discovered is lack of integrity. When people are looking for someone that they can trust, and once you are tried and you fail, you will not be tried again. You will not be given opportunity or a chance again to prove what you got. So integrity is very important. Then there is what I call the thief of time, procrastination. These have killed a lot of talent. These have made a lot of talented people to fail. You are supposed to go for an interview. You're supposed to go for a training. You're supposed to go for auditioning. You're supposed to do something about your career, your talent, but instead procrastinating. I'll do it tomorrow, next tomorrow. So procrastination is killing a lot of talented people. Then overconfidence. I'm good. I can do it. Has also rendered a lot of people to be in the same place. They said that the more you discover, the more you think you know, the more you discover that you don't know. There are people that are better than you. There are people that are doing what you have done many years ago. So why being proud? Why believing so much that you can do it better than everybody? Put your head down, learn, and do something about your talent. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, it's wonderful all the things you're saying. We all know that we need talent. We need to develop our talent. We need to work on our talent in order to maximize all the things we have on this planet and to make a change or to make a difference in life. Because I believe we're all born for a purpose. And as soon as we discover that purpose, we can follow it through and then get the results we're supposed to get. If you don't, you might be the purpose of other people, and that's not very good. Okay. So I'd like to know, is enough for success and greatness in life? Is that enough?
Talent is not enough.
So what else do you need?
Like I rightly said earlier, you need character.
Okay.
It's just like the opposite of what that made people feel in life, especially talented people. You need character, charisma and character. If you are talented and you are not, you don't have character, you don't have positive attitude, you may not go far. Then hard work. You have to be very hard work as a talented person. You have to be very hardworking. There's no time for play. You have not reached Eldorado. There is no time for relaxation. You just have to keep working. Working at your talents, working at it day and night. I've searched for the biographies of great men all around the world. And it's always amazing. It's always amazing me when I find out that the people that are called the billionaires, they are always working at whatever they do. They are not satisfied with the level they are. They want to do more. And by doing so, the 24 hours is too small for them. So as a talented person, you have to be hardworking. Yeah, you have to be hardworking. And like I said, you have to be a person of your word. Because you'll be dealing with people. There's no man that is working in isolation. Talent is all about sharing what you have to the people around you. You cannot be talented and you are just on your own, displaying your talent. Somebody has to pay you for the talent. And if you are not a man or a woman of integrity, somebody that can be trusted, somebody that keeps his or her word, then nobody will want to do it.
Okay, right. So someone said that success is measured in terms of who you know. Do you agree? I mean, because we're talking of networking here. It's all about networking, because I believe in the power of network. And I believe also that all the money we are looking for in this world are in the pockets of other people. Isn't it? All right. So your main idea or your main reason is to look for people who would help you to pay some of that money. You provide service for them, and they give you some of the money they have.
I agree with you 100%. Dr. Maxwell said something. Then the age of industrialization has gone.
Right.
Then the age of technology is running very fast. Then we are now in the age of networking.
Right.
We are now in the age of, it is as much as you don't want to depend on somebody, but the truth is that your success or your customer, your partner is always somebody close to you. So you may not be able to meet that person until you interconnect.
Right.
So I agree totally that you have to connect. You have to connect for you to get to that your price. So it's connection, networking that is the same thing now. In this part of the world that we are, they call it man no man.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's the power of networking. That's it.
Yes, they call it man no man, but that's the truth. Recently, one of my brother was doing a research about market, and he called me when he got something online. I come and read, and I read it. I was shocked. The report said that one of the best ways you can even get a job. It wasn't written by a black man. It was an American article. That the best way to get a job is network. The best way to get a customer is through networking. But word of mouth or referral is the best form of marketing in sales world. So you cannot do without.
Okay, right. That reminds me of something that I had when I was in school. The principal of my school used to say that while you're going through this school, he said, allow the school to go through you. Okay, and he was saying that the power of networking, because if you look down and check exactly why do people send their children to reputable schools, it's not because of what they teach in that school. It is because of who they are going to meet along the line there. Because when you go to a reputable school, you have a tendency to meet people who are almost in the same level of thinking, the kind of powerful networks they have. And so when you come out from that school, you have a tendency to see or hear about old boys from that school that would help you to get jobs very, very easily, or that will connect you to something else. I tell you, there's one thing. There's a school here called it's called it's a marketing school, in fact, where they do marketing and all the rest. People pay thousands of euros to go to such schools, and I guess the reasons why they go there is because of the name and because of the kind of people that will come there, students that come there, and because they know that the power of networking is very important. And when you finish from such schools, your possibility of getting a job is quite high, or even higher than the normal person that went to a normal school. All right.
That's right.
So I believe in the power of networking.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'd like you to talk about what is the difference between talent and purpose.
Good. You know, like I said, purpose, they are similar, but they are very different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, purpose is the intent, that is in the intention of your creator when he was making you.
Right.
You know, when your maker was designing you, you know, he has something in mind. That is your purpose. You know, it's just like when a craftsman is making a chair, he has in mind that this chair is for. You know, if somebody comes up and start using it as a ball, that's like his use of purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what is happening to most people on the planet Earth today.
Okay.
You know, I used to say that purpose should be the number one topic that should be taught in school, because that's the foundation of everything.
Mm-hmm.
If you miss it, you miss all. So talking about the difference between purpose and talent. Talent is what is given to you to actualize your purpose. Talent helps you to fulfill your purpose. Talent helps you to fulfill your purpose. While purpose is that journey you have to embark, that goal you have to meet. Now, you know, I read something sometimes ago. Can't remember where it is. It says, on the judgment day, you'll be asked two questions. Number one question is that, what do you do with what I sent you to do on earth?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what did you do with what I sent you to go and do? You know, like, I sent somebody to the market to go and get me a 2 barrels of yam, and the person gets to the market and come back with spaghetti. I used to ask, will I be happy?
No.
Definitely, I will be hungry.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be hungry. So, purpose is the original intention of the creator for his creation. Where talent are the gifting and resources that he puts in that person in order to actualize and fulfill that purpose.
Okay, good. Right. So that's in a nutshell what it's all about. Talent and the purpose, the reason why we are brought into this world. Okay. And I still believe that if anybody ever discovers exactly why he was created and goes head on to follow that, success is assured, and he is certainly going to make a difference in life. I believe that very much. One of the reasons why people fail is they do not. I have a feeling that 60% of the people on this planet do not know exactly why they were created.
Exactly.
So they end up living a life that was not designed for them. And that's not very good. Okay. Thank you very much for all the things you have said so far. All right. So, before you go, have you written any book? How can somebody get you online? Tell our listeners who you are exactly, so that we know exactly who has been talking to us for the past 1 hour or 30 minutes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this opportunity. Yeah, I've written 2 books.
Okay.
Yeah. One is Conquering Self, Your Number One Enemy.
Okay.
That's my first book.
Mm-hmm.
Conquering Self, Your Number One Enemy. And the second one is Journey to Greatness.
Okay.
Journey to Greatness.
Okay. Is it online?
Sorry?
Is it online?
Yes. Journey to Greatness is online. It's on Amazon. It's on Bain.
Okay.
And Nobles.
Okay.
It's all over Europe.
Okay.
Because, it was first published in UK.
Okay.
By Earthly Brace. But it was republished here in Nigeria. Later, that was last year.
Okay.
But it's online. It's all over the internet.
Okay. Do you have a Facebook? Do you have a website? Just give us tell us everything about you so that listeners will know who they are dealing with.
All right. Whenever I'm introducing myself, I like to say that I'm a man on a mission. I'm a man on a mission to help people discover, develop, and deploy their talent. That's my major. I love people fulfilling their purpose in life. I love people making use of what is given to them by their maker. And to me, I believe it's the easiest way and the fastest way to fulfill purpose and to be successful in life, So if you want to get me, I have a web blog that I like writing. It's my life. Writing is my life. So I have a blog that I put all my mind on. It's called www.tomiwaogoremi.com.
Okay.
tomiwaogoremi.com. But you can email me through tomiwaogoremi@yahoo.co.uk.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm online. I'm an online person. You can always send a message.
Okay.
You can even reach me. I'm on Twitter, Facebook.
Okay, good.
Just Google my name. You see all about me.
All right. Okay, Mr. Tomiwa, thank you very, very, very much. We are pleased to have you on our radio, and I hope our listeners would have learned a lot from all the things you have said so far. I hope you would have time again to come and give us some more insight to your vision about life and the things you teach. I hope you have time one day to come back and talk more about your vision in life.
Mr. Adwa, that is what we are made for. I will always be glad to do this over and over and over again.
Okay.
As long as people are being blessed.
Right. Good. So very soon I'll be running a live program. Okay. We're running a live program. Maybe I would invite you to come online and speak to our listeners live online, and in case anybody wants to ask questions, I would put them through to you, and maybe do you counsel online? Maybe
come again.
Do you do counseling online?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Right. So okay, that would be fine. I'll be contacting you very, very soon. And I'll put that through so that listeners can listen and maybe make phone calls and call and ask questions directly. And so we rub minds together again. Thank you very, very much.
It's a great privilege. I appreciate it.
Okay, so what would you tell our listeners about Motivational Radio France?
Wow, this is what is expected. I so much appreciate it because this is like life training.
Right.
To people.
That's it.
So it is a step in the right direction. I appreciate it.
Okay, that's a life coaching online. Okay, life coaching online. Okay, right. I'm giving you a global voice. Okay, right. I hope people around the world would know who Mr. Tomiwa Ogoremi is
I am
from
also
today
again
on.
privileged.
Okay, thank you
to
very,
be
very
speaking
much.
to Obed
Okay.
Kingful,
Okay.
who
All
is
right.
as he introduced himself, a part-time motivational speaker, and today he is going to speak to us about purpose, the importance of purpose. So, how are you, Obed, today?
I am very good, sir.
Okay, so could you define what purpose is exactly? What is it for you?
Simply, the word purpose means
The
reason for life.
reason for life.
Is the reason why something is created, and it's also the reason why something exists. The word purpose is literally fixed design for something. I give an example. If you go to a school, you are not expect a music concert. You expect the students and teachers there. If you go to an airport, you expect a plane to land, not a train.
That's right.
If you are at a bus stop, you expect a bus to stop, not a train to stop.
Okay.
You can't go to a train station and expect a flight, a plane to land. So that leads to the purpose. The reason why something is created is a fixed intention of something. If you go to a filling station, you expect to fill your tank with petrol, not a butcher shop selling chicken.
Okay, very good. So in one word, you are trying to say here that each and every individual in this planet is or has a purpose for its creation.
Very true, everyone was created. Our maker God does not create things for fun. He creates things for purpose.
Now,
So we were created for a specific purpose at a particular place. We need to identify our person, and we need to identify the place, because you will not shine at every place. Even if you have identified your purpose, it's not everywhere that you go. It's not everywhere that you'll be celebrated. There's a specific place for your purpose to go, where people will celebrate you.
now, how can anyone identify these purposes or that purpose? Why we were created? How can I start my life identifying that?
Very good question. Number one, you need to ask the Creator. You need to ask God. He's the one.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that knows what we are capable, our capability is. So we need to ask the Creator, which is the Almighty God. The word ask is we need to ask the A for ask. We need to ask Him in prayers. We need to seek Him by His word, the manual for life, the Bible. And we need to keep knocking, because the manufacturer knows what he creates a product for.
Okay.
If your example is, I'll say you're driving a car, you have a car, and you have a problem with your car, you might take it to the mechanic. And sometimes the mechanic will tell you, oh, you need to go to the manufacturer, because the manufacturer knows the capacity and the capability of that vehicle. He knows how to diagnose what the problem is. So man can be limited, but the Creator, which is our God, He's the one that created us. We need to ask Him, what did He create me and you?
Okay.
Why are we on earth?
Okay, that's number one. All right, asking the Creator.
Number one.
Okay, number two.
Number two is how to identify your purpose in life. It's easily, what do you love doing? What do you love doing? What you like doing is an indicator of what you are created to do.
Okay.
You don't see a train or a television. You can put a television on 24/7, but the television, you don't see the television saying, I'm tired. What do you love doing? That's an indicator of what you are created to do. I use me as an example. If you wake me up any time of the day, I can sell you anything, because I love business. I love numbers. So what you love doing is an indicator of what you are created to do.
Okay, good. That's very clear.
And the third one is, which is tied to the second one is, what do you love doing with ease? What you love doing with ease is an indicator of what you are created to do.
Okay, that's...
So because everything is packaged in you. Many people are looking for things that is not lost. We are looking for things that is packaged within us. So what you are created to, your purpose is, how to identify your purpose is things that you like doing with ease, because it's packaged inside you.
Okay, so we are trying to say here that if we're able to identify what we like doing, and if we're able to identify what we like doing with ease, then we have identified our purpose.
Exactly.
Great.
Exactly.
Okay, so if I identify my purpose, do you think that by identifying my purpose, it will lead me to success?
Yes, because as I said, your capacity and your capability is in you. If you identify your purpose, you will find fulfillment. Joy and love, fulfillment is in your purpose. That is why there's so many people, they are earning good high-paid jobs, and sometimes you hear from them, I'm leaving. And you ask them, why are you leaving? And they'll tell you, I'm not fulfilled. I'm not happy. They're getting high-paid money, but they are not doing what they love to do. And success, people equate success as, money. You can have money and not be happy. So if you find your purpose, it's linked to success, because you find fulfillment.
So could you...
It is not doing everything that will make you outstanding. It is doing the right thing.
Now, could you say that when you identified our purpose, would it lead you ultimately to fulfillment? And you're saying that fulfillment equal to success.
Because if we break down what is success, success is tied to your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Success is tied to your purpose. Because if you are fulfilling what if you are doing what you are created to do, you are successful. Success is doing something, improving on yourself all the time. Success, people equate success as, living in a big house or, you're okay driving a big car and, having all that money that you are successful. But success is literally adding something to yourself daily. Adding something to yourself daily. When you're adding value to yourself daily, you are successful. Anything you do different today from yesterday, you are successful.
Even if you don't have the money?
Even if you don't have the money. You can add knowledge. You can add knowledge to yourself. You can read books, motivational books, add knowledge to yourself. You're adding value. That is something that you didn't know yesterday, but you know it today. That is success. It's the little daily additions that you're adding to yourself. That makes you successful.
So in one word, how do you define success?
In one word?
Yeah.
In my own word?
Yes.
Success. Success is literally, doing what you love to do. Something that brings you joy.
Okay. Even if at the end of the day you're not making much money from it.
There's one thing I need to make. You see, riches will come in your purpose. You will surely look. You cannot be fulfilling your purpose and not. You see, money is good. Money is good. I always tell people money is good, but money is not everything. Money is good, but money is not everything. Money is not designed to stop you from fulfilling your purpose. Money is simply exchange for something or a service. So if you are doing something that you love doing, that's why there are many people actually working as voluntary. They love doing what they are doing, not necessarily being paid.
Okay.
But they love doing what they are doing. But I can guarantee that when you're fulfilling your purpose, you will not lack.
Okay. So that's a sure sign that if you're fulfilling your purpose, you are not going to lack money, because at the end of the day, the fact that you are doing something that you are creating, somehow people will pay you for it.
The creator will pay you. You go to work, you work, and your manager, they pay you. Because you're exchanging your time for money. If you are doing something that the creator has called you, the creator has no choice than to pay you. And he will pay you through men. He will pay you through people. He will pay you through an open door. The creator will definitely pay you if you are doing what he's called you to do.
Okay, that's very clear. I mean, it's very simple in the sense that the way you have explained it, that if we are fulfilling our purpose, somehow we would have enough money to feed ourselves.
Surely.
Okay.
You see, when you go to work, if you don't work, sit down. You will not get paid. You see, so if you are doing what the creator has called us to do in this earth, he has no choice than to pay you.
Okay, that's very clear.
And that's why success is linked to purpose.
Now, I'd like to ask you another question. Are there signs to know when we have identified our purpose in life? Do you have external signs or internal signs to show you that really you are on the right path?
There are few signs that you will see if you actually, working in your purpose. Number one, working in your purpose will bring you honor. You will find honor in your purpose. Number two, you will function optimum performance in your purpose. These are signs. You will function optimum performance in your purpose. Because your capacity and your capability is in your purpose. That's what you are built to do. So you do it with ease. You see, when you are working in your purpose, another sign is everything comes out. Everything comes out from you. Ease. I mean, as I said, if you wake me up, the business I do is I produce non-alcoholic food drink. And I distribute. If you wake me up, I can sell you anything. I can sell you the drink at any time of the day. Because that is what I'm created to do. It becomes easy. Another sign that you see is you will excel, you will your purpose. You'll be celebrated in your purpose.
Okay.
Because, as I said from the beginning, we are created differently. So what you are doing, if you are working in your purpose, you are doing something that nobody else can do. So you will shine. You'll be the one that people will be looking for because you are different.
Okay.
And I'm afraid that another sign is people will call you genius. People will call you genius. People will ask you questions, how can this person do it ease? I'll take example, David Beckham.
Yeah.
He plays football. There are many footballers. So how come they are not earning? They are not earning. Or they are not shining. Like example, David Beckham. David Beckham will take a free kick and he earns million pounds. Because he is good at what he does. So you will shine in your purpose. The another sign that you need to look out for is people will look up to you. You become an authority figure. You will become a person that people will look up to you. You will become an inspiration to your environment.
Okay. Now I get the picture. If you really identify your purpose in life, you become an influential person. You become good. You become a reference point. Okay, and which is yes, anybody can see that. Now let us take example. Because I always say that some people spend their lives working for those who have identified their dreams, okay, or their purposes. Do you agree on that? That some other people spend their life working for those who have identified their purposes in life.
Yes, I have a friend, I've been talking to one of my friends. As I said, what I do is I motivate people. You see, following somebody or helping someone fulfill their purpose is not a bad thing. As far as you are also fulfilling your purpose.
If you have not identified your purpose, you'll be working for those who have identified theirs.
If you are, so example, what you're saying is like someone you have not identified your purpose, but you are working with someone that has identified theirs.
Okay, and for one reason or the other, you did not identify that. Okay, engineer. But that's not your purpose. So we see, for me, the main like us to discuss today is really identify, because it's very, very good to say it. But then, I like to have practical examples, of telling people, for example, somebody who didn't go to school, for example, if he's listening to us or she is listening to us, will say, how do I want to, this is 2014, I'd like to change my life, I want to do something different, I want to identify my purpose. Okay, so first, you are saying that he has to check back into his or her life and see that thing that he or she has been doing, easily, something that comes easily to him, or give him an indication of his or her purpose, right?
Yes, sir. I give example. My parents, if I go and tell my parents when I was growing up, the chef,
Mm-hmm.
they wake me up because they see us okay, to be everyone is going to be a doctor or a lawyer, but if I don't understand or they probably shout at me. But we have people today that they are master chefs.
Anyway,
so when I say you need to identify what you're good at, what you are good at might not please, people might not be happy at what you are good at. You might see it as minor or not significant now, but if you carry on and then improve and then work on what you are good at, increase your knowledge and understanding on that area, you will become a person of significance.
I agree with you. But don't you think that this is a bit of ignorance, in the sense that on the part of our parents, when you tell your father you want to become a footballer and say, listen, footballers do not, okay, they're not, for example, if you tell your father that you want to be a singer, they will tell you, no, singers are not, they're not very good. People call them all kinds of names and all that. So somehow, because our parents did not see or ascribe singing with success, they will tell you it is not good, while that is your purpose in life. You see, so somehow ignorance also plays a part on, because of the fact that our parents, because of the fact that some of them are ignorant, they tend to tell you not to do certain things because of that fact.
Very, very true. But you see, that is a problem that we've had. As an African, that's a problem that we have. We think everyone is going to be a doctor or lawyer or because I wasn't good at science. I was good with numbers.
Yeah.
So I was good with numbers. So, I agree with you. That is a problem that we have, and that is why people like you, people like me are there to actually, create that difference that, not everybody is going to be a lawyer and doctor. Somebody can be a footballer, and be successful. Somebody can be a chef and be successful.
Oh yeah. I believe any profession, because in any profession on this planet, people are successful in every kind of profession. So what you need to do is to every kind of profession. If you, for example, if you say taxi drivers, there are rich taxi drivers. If you call footballers, there are rich footballers. If you call chefs, there are rich chefs. So now what we need to identify exactly is, what did these people who are rich or who are successful in this business, what did they do? What did they do to become successful? And then try to copy them. I think that is the bottom line. The question is that many of us do not know this. That all cooks are not rich. People who cook are not. No, it's not true. There are some rich cooks in this world. So what you need to do is, how did they get from zero to where they are today and become rich? What is it that they did, or what was it that they did that made them to be rich? And so, because I believe in the theory of copying. If you copy correctly and adapt your copying to your own way of life, because you can't invent the wheel again. For example, there are things you can't invent, but you learn from those who have crossed the bridge already. I think that's the way that leads to success. If you do that in any profession you are, try to look at those who are at the top. Look at them. What did they do? How did they do it? And try to copy that. Try to copy it, but suit your own way, because all of us are unique. And so what works for me might not necessarily work for you, but you can adapt the system to suit your own system.
What you just said is that, we can even close the session here. That is, you see, look, there is a car wash people in America. They are washing cars, but they are millionaires.
That's right.
There are people washing cars in America. They are millionaires now.
Yes.
Because why? They are not just washing ordinary cars. They are washing celebrities' cars.
Good.
So even a car wash can be successful.
Exactly. So what you need to do is to copy them and say, what did this guy do? How did you manage to get to where you are today? If you can, for example, because I know sometimes it's very difficult to approach these people, okay? But you can watch them from distance. You can stay very far and watch what they have done, they are doing, to copy a little bit of that and adapt it to your own system.
You said something there. You need to approach them. As you said, there's nothing new under the sun.
No, there's nothing new under the sun.
There's nothing new under the sun. Anything that you want to do, somebody has done it before.
Exactly.
Always tell people, there's two types of ideas. Ideas come in two forms. There's ideas that, you create, innovation. That is just a new idea. But most of the ideas is actually someone improving on something. There's a little improvement on something someone has done. That becomes an idea. It's about identifying